Hello everybody, this is Funny Bunny of Doom, and I will be doing a quick tutorial on how to build a very simple orbiter. The only thing we are going to do in this tutorial is build a ship that will get us into orbit and then be able to come back and survive. So this is going to be a very simple ship. We will deal with advanced building techniques next. So the first thing we want is this Command Pod MK1. You want a small pod, so this one is perfect. We're building a small ship for this maneuver. Okay. The next thing we are going to want a decoupler. So look for a decoupler or a stack separator that will fit your ship. Okay, like that, because this is going to be our final stage, and that's what's going to be making it to Earth. For simplicity's sake, we're going to use an inline parachute, one of these cap top ones, just because these are the easiest. Also, we want a power source so that we can run our SAS module, which will help to stabilize us. We're going to go with the larger battery. Yeah, we want this one. I prefer inline batteries, but this is going to be a very... Actually, you know what? Let's do an inline battery. Inline batteries are better. I prefer these in every way, and it even holds more charge. Okay, and now we're going to want a way to charge that. We'll do this photovoltaic panel. The other ones need to be deployed, so that can be difficult on a short trip to deploy those. So to make sure that we will be getting the power that we need, we are going to mount two of these. And I'm sorry I did this wrong. We want to switch to symmetry mode. We're going to have two here, and angle snap, because angle snap is nice. And we'll put it here. Be very careful not to cover up your door, or else you cannot let your Kerbal leave the ship. And we are going to be doing an EVA. So we got our power, our stack separator. We have power source. For shits and giggles, we're going to have an antenna. This is just the antenna that I prefer. I think it looks cool. We only want one of these because that's all we need. And this is, we're in sandbox mode, but this is for career mode. It will get you science. Okay, so we've got our two panels. We got that and that and that. So now we're going to want command and control. There are two kinds of control, and we want both of them. The first one is an inline reaction wheel, and that is going to... Here. Inline stabilizer. This is going to use power to stabilize. This is your SAS module. You probably have also seen an RCS module, and we want one of these RCS monopropellant tanks too. And this is going to be our thrusters. So this will fuel our fine-tuning thrusters that push back and forth to stabilize the craft. This is a must-have. So we want 4 of these thruster blocks, because I found any less than 4 will not control your ship, and if they're not lined up correctly like this, they'll fuck your ship up. Okay, so we've got our RCS module, our SAS module, we have a power and a separator, and a power source. Okay, so the next thing we're going to want will be our stages. We are going to want a small stage and another stack separator. I'm sorry. First of all, that's the wrong stack separator, and we want an engine. We want this LV909 liquid fuel engine, because this is a very small, not powerful engine that's going to be making fine-tune adjustments and getting us back from space when we're actually in space. So that is going to be our last engine. Okay, and now we're going to want that stack separator I was looking for. Is that it? Now that's Rockomax. Those are huge. This one. Okay. So that's our stack separator. And now this is going to be the main stage of our rocket. And this is going to be the hard part. So let's have 2 of these fuel tanks together. These are both going to be stacked on top of each other. And we are going to want These 2 engines are what we're going to want to use. We have the T30. This one is maximum thrust and minimal control. This is maximum control, minimal thrust. So on the center, our main stage rocket, we're going to want maximum control. But this is not going to get us into space. We are going to want radio-mounted separators. This one is my favorite because it holds it away from your rocket and gives you a little extra room to play. If it's too close to your rocket, you separate a booster, it can hit your rocket and explode and you die. Okay, so we got 4 of these. And then we are going to want fuel tanks. And we are going to do the same thing for the fuel tanks. Have these as low as you can get them on here. And we are going to add 4 more. Okay. We're going to want strut connectors. I'm using only vanilla parts. I have mods that have better parts than this, but I'm only using only vanilla parts. Okay. So now that should stabilize the bottom end. We want to stabilize the top end as well. My mod in vanilla Kerbal does not have aerodynamics, but just to get in the habit, let's throw a nose cone on there. Fins are usually pretty redundant. We don't need fins on this build, but if you want some, add them. And then remember how I was saying there's these 2 rockets? We want the stronger thrust one on the outside. Okay? So now we have the basic build of our rocket. This is everything we need to get into space, into orbit, and then back down. Make sure you have a parachute. The next thing we're going to want to do is deal with our staging. So we have these 4 engines, and we want the center engine on the same stage as these 4. And then we have these 4 separating. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot something very important. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to make another stage above the 5th stage, and we're going to want to separate these. We want, let's see, this one. So we want these 2 to drop first. So these 2 rockets here are going to drop first, and then these 2, and then the final one. So now we have these 2 dropping first, so that means we're going to want an external fuel duct, and you have to do this individually or else it'll screw it up. So these 2 are the first to go. So we want the fuel being pumped from this one into this one. This is the second to go, so we want it pumped from this one into the main stage. Whoops, I fucked that up. Make sure it connects. If you don't see it connecting, it didn't connect. Like that, see? It's not connecting for some odd reason. There we go. So, same thing, do not connect these 2. This one, the first to be dropped, will go to the second to be dropped. The second to be dropped will go to the third to be dropped. That way, with this method, we will have a full fuel tank every time we drop a stage. Okay, so we're firing these, then we're dropping those 2, then we're dropping those 2, then we're dropping the final one once we're in almost into orbit, and then this last engine will be our control in orbit. So let's make another stage, and we're going to want this last separation to happen before the chute deployment. And that's it. That is our rocket. We're going to give it a name. Let's call it Cocksucker A1. And save. Alright. And in the next video, I will show you guys how to get this fucker into space.